Alright, so this is going to go under the category of things that are wrong with my brain. I actually learned that biting my cheek over and over again is actually an OCD order. It's called body focused repetitive behavior. So it's underneath OCD. I didn't know that for a while. It's right next to where trichotillomania, I think is what it's called. I probably just chopped that all up to pieces. But if you don't know what that is where people like pull their hair out until they're like bald. So it's right next to it. All my life, I have bitten the inside of my cheek. And right now, and I'm thinking about it because my mouth is totally raw because I've been biting my cheek. It's probably, I don't know. Sometimes, like, I do it, and I really don't know why. I really don't. It's just like, that's the compulsive part, is like you just want to do it and you don't know why, and you realize that you're doing it and you can't stop yourself from doing it, and it leaves you in this really weird trance-like state. It's really weird. It's a really weird problem to have. Now, I know that that is based on genetics solely, and I can tell you this because my paternal family was not in my life. With the exception of sometimes my paternal grandmother, which is a whole different topic, and my cousin Dustin, before he died. Me and my cousin Dustin, we knew each other when we were younger, and then we separated ways, and then somehow, some way, we came in the middle. I think it had more to do with Arts and Jazz Fest, because we have an Arts and Jazz Fest here, and it's a really big deal. It sucks they moved it to the fall, and I hate that because it was always May whenever they did it. So it sucks, and it's coming up, and so Arts and Jazz Fest was one of the ways that we would always meet up if it had been a while. Like that's the place where we would find each other. I had a question for my paternal family because I have people on Facebook. They're distant cousins. I have so many freaking cousins. It's like you might be my cousin watching this right now. I don't fucking know. But so I say that it's a paternal and it's a genetic thing because it is. Apparently my father did it, my aunts did it, my cousin Dustin did it, I think he said his sister did not, but it's genetics, we all bite our mouths, it's a chronic cheek biting, so like we bite the inside of the inside lining of our mouths, and it's repetitive. You do it over and over and over again. And I've done it all my life, and I'm approaching 40. So that's a long fucking time. And so if you didn't know that, if you chronically bite your cheeks, like doing this kind of number, like, and getting the inside of your cheeks, yeah, that's OCD. I'm sorry to tell you, but you have a mental illness, and it's OCD, and it's called body focused repetitive behavior. I don't necessarily think that I have. I find OCD is like kind of a different thing altogether. I can see how it could be placed underneath that. I'm not so obsessed with it, but it is compulsive. So in that way, it is a disorder. Sorry, my allergies are bad because of the place that I live, and it sucks all the time. So yeah, body-focused repetitive behavior. And that is underneath the same category as other things such as pulling your hair out. That's what I know. I think there's some other things underneath there, but I remember researching it one time just because of curiosity, like, how many people do this? Like, am I just like an oddity of the world and just like self-cannibalize myself? And no, I'm not alone. There are people out there, you may be one of them, who actually has this disorder. And it's funny because I went to an orthodontist, I was looking at getting my teeth kind of corrected, because I look like fucking bunny, or a rat, you could say, because these teeth right here are more up and into my mouth, and these ones here are like inverted vampire teeth, I guess you could say. But if you look at my bite, like, I can stick a finger there because it's an open bite. The orthodontist that I saw was like, did you did you suck your thumb when you were little? And I was like, no. No, my mom said I didn't have anything like that. I legit did not think about the fact that I bit the fuck out of my mouth my entire life. And so he was kind of perplexed by that, and I was kind of perplexed by that because I was wondering why he was thinking that, and then it only came to me after the fact that, oh yeah, I actually do bite the shit out of my mouth. And because of that, my jaw is very pushed back. So if you ever wondered why the fuck I talk the way that I do and it's all crooked, it's because of my jaw. And let me see if I can get this on camera. So here's where, you know, the bone connects to your jaw. So you see this side pushes out. This jaw, if you could feel it, that's it popping out of its where it should be, because I spent so much time with my hands on my mouth and my jaw. And I remember when I was younger too, I used to always hold my head up like this with my hand until my jaw would hurt really, really bad. So I've got really bad issues with that because of it. And it wasn't something that like was ever brought to attention as to it could be a problem, and it is. And so if you're younger, I do recommend trying to figure out how to correct these things. I have not figured out how to do it. It's something that happens, and sometimes I can go for a long period of time without doing it, and the next thing I know, I'm doing it again. My orthodontist that I saw told me that the only way that he could correct my open bite was to go in, saw half of my jaw, push it forward, and then put it back in, because it is a temporal joint disorder. People say TMJ, but that TMJ is a disorder, like we're talking about your temporal mandible joint. Now I'm all confused. Yeah, so in order to get, he was like, "Are you above surgery?" I was like, "No," because at the time I had insurance and whatnot, so it wasn't that big of a deal, and I did have a job at the time. But it was a serious surgery. You know, they were talking about they would have to split my jaw, move it forward, and then basically wire it together, and so it would heal. So I'd basically be like, you know, living with a fucking straw for a good while to eat and drink and all that good stuff. And then the other thing that he said was that he could pull like certain teeth and it could kind of affect the way that I bite. But he said in either case, it could make your joint disorder worse, or it can make it better. But there's no guarantee. Or it could just stay the same. So there's no guarantee. You go through the surgery, I might have more of a jaw, but I won't, it could be worse. And so like with that in mind, you know, I've made it this far in life. I don't, you know, it is what it is at this point. Now, I wouldn't mind having my teeth straighter, especially like this. And right here, if you notice, this tooth right there is crooked. And that is my spiky tooth, because that tooth has attributed to a lot of fucking mouth biting. And I don't know if maybe had that been fixed earlier, if that habit would have been changed. It could have likely have been changed, just specifically because of the way that my brain chooses to bite the inside of my mouth. So it's definitely left me with a way that I talk. And I used to think that it was like, this is the good side, this is the bad side. And sometimes when I'm eating and I start biting the back of my mouth constantly, so I have to that right there, and that pushes it back into spot. I don't know if you heard that, but it crunched when I did that. So yeah, you might have an OCD disorder if you chronically bite the inside of your mouth, and it's a body focused repetitive behavior, and it's under OCDs. So if you did not know, you do now, and you should look into it, because there may be methods that can be used to prevent this disfiguration that occurs with that disorder.